Hello there, my name is José Miguel, and over here, his name is Rúben Aguilera Sánchez. Hello there, Rúben.
Hi, how you been?
I'm doing good, how are you?
We're all good, thank you.
Thank you for having me over here. I want to ask to you, what is Dia de los Muertos?
I think it varies on what point in your life you're at. Because sometimes it's not too serious, you don't take it too serious, and sometimes you take it very serious. And I think it affects you when you lose someone in your life,
Right.
someone dear, then it becomes very important. Later on we'll see an altar of Alicia. She lost her father this summer, and she really wanted to do an altar. The story, and this is true, I always tell the same story because it's the same. This is what happened. I had a gallbladder surgery in Guadalajara, and I was recovering. And one day, people in the newscast being interviewed in the cemeteries. And I said, well, I wonder what's going on. And through the interviews and throughout the day, I realized it was Dia de los Muertos. So they were interviewing people at the cemeteries. And after that, they had people who were looking at all the people that are in the programs. They would do their newscast or entertainment. And at the end, they says, and this is our altar for today. And what amazes me is that they all had altars. Some were personal, some were celebrities, but they had an altar. And I thought that was very powerful, that a national program would have an altar, to humble themselves, to have an altar for their loved ones. So when I came back, I talked to Joe Sartini at that time, which was in 1999, and said, why don't we do something like that here? And so I said, okay, let's do it. And so I started to get information about it. And so you have November 1st, November 2nd, which is the All Souls Day and Day of the Dead. And that's when you honor your loved ones. Their soul will come back for that day. And you put an altar and you put all of that stuff they like to eat, drink, and you all honor them. And it's honoring your loved ones. And it's very important. A lot of people do it in cemeteries. They go directly to the cemetery where they're buried, and they put trinkets, they put flowers, marigolds, their favorite drink, and their honor. They stay with them for that day. But for me, I would invite in this middle gallery for a lot of years. I would invite 3-4 artists, and each of them would put an altar. I had Karen LaCoe, Joe Sortini, Suzanne French, Frank Ayala, Martha Gomez, different artists throughout that I knew. And I would invite them, and they would have an altar here. And each one was different. As I say, my dad would tell me, every mind is a different world. So were the altars, they were different. Each one was different because they honored their loved ones differently. This painting here, Noche de los Muertos, is the very first painting that I did for the first altar. And so I was younger, I was in my 40s, and so what I liked about this painting a lot is that I wanted to make it like you had the spirit floating. And so I made the blanket, there's this blanket coming off the canvas onto the air. And so I had a lot of little intricate things inside I had the hand puppet here, I had the double eye, and you have a reflection of a person inside in each eye, the shadows, and then I have the skeletons and that type of thing, and then the night. So I like to do that. You want to go through the other ones?
Yeah, let's go.
This one's was in honor of, I was invited to a presentation 2 weeks by Karen LaCoe for 9/11. And it was just 2 weeks after the tragic event. And they wanted to quickly do an exhibit by Karen LaCoe. She hosted it, she curated. So I wanted to somehow I did a drawing of the Twin Towers because they were twins. But I didn't know, so many people had passed, and I didn't know exactly how to represent that. So I just said, well, I'll just go ahead and put the spirits as many people as I could.
Right.
So that's what I did there in the bottom, and the American flag, showing that at that time, it's been a while, and probably you guys were small, they're very small then, but for a good period after that, everybody wore an American flag on their car, everywhere, to show unity. And then that was in 2001.
2001?
Yeah, and then this one here, this is called Echoes of the Wind. Now I always have like doing white. And the main, the story behind this one is that, again, Karen LeBoot invited us to black and white ball. And she supplied us with a 4x4 painting. And out of that I painted the 98, it was 1998. I painted Los Niños because it rained a lot that year. El Niño. We just got flooded that year. But by the third year, black and white, she didn't say nothing, but I didn't know and I didn't ask, so I just made my own black and white and brought it here. And she said, "Why didn't you invite nobody this time? You're the only one that showed up with your painting."
And what did she say?
She said, "Okay, put it in." So at the black and white ball, she had the painting there. Again, I tried to put I always like to put a little bit of the life, the working, and then death also. Because there is death always walking beside you. And when you least expect it, they'll touch you and take you with you. Come on. And so this is the way it's there. The candle, la vela.
Oh, yeah.
And this is more the idea of the altar, going to the cemeteries, of the people that honor their loved ones, going to the cemetery, carrying the trinket. She has her basket, and you can see it's like multi-vision. You see her, and then you see her little figure there going to the cemetery to put her loved ones there.
Yeah, I see that.
And she has a little basket with the trinkets and the flowers, the marigolds. And then also you have the shadows, which is you being born young, your midlife, and your old life before you pass away. The cosecha, the harvest. And I did one, it was an idea, it's oil pastel on paper. And the idea was to, like an x-ray, show the person, the x-ray, the skeleton, the person working, harvesting. But it is death. It's harvesting the souls. And each corn, you can see it's just like a little figure. And they're being harvested, which is basically death, harvesting the people, the souls of people. So that's the theme behind all this one, the harvest.
How long have you been an artist?
All my life, I have a little drawing, a painting that I still have when I was 12 years old.
When you were 12 years old?
Yeah, it was not great. I mean, I was not a prodigy. I was not like Picasso that could paint really good at a young age. But I loved art and I just kept going at it. This one's called Seasons. And this one's about the valley and the spirit. You have the spirit of the tree. And I wanted to do a relief painting for this one, so I did chicken wire and plaster Paris and cheesecloth, and I wrapped it on there and made the figure, and I put, this is all plaster Paris, so it's really textured.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of the plaster Paris, it weighs a ton, so it's really heavy. Always like the valley because you have the winter, the spring, the summer, the harvest, fall, and then winter again. And every year is repeated, the same thing over and over again. So.
It looks to me it's something interesting.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's very textured. I tried something different. I tried to move on as an artist, experiment, try something different to learn from it. After this, I don't use I have very little plaster Paris. I use foam board now. It makes it much more lighter. And you learn, you try something, you learn, you try to make it better, make it lighter, and so on. So you change your techniques, improve your techniques.
I like this picture right there.
Oh, thank you very much.
That one right there.
Inside here you can see the heart of the tree. Alicia, she called me. She wanted to honor her father. Unfortunately, her father passed away this past summer. And she really wanted to know. That's what it's about, honoring your loved ones. And so she did a beautiful job. She hand cut her paper flowers. She made her own paper flowers here, you can tell. And she put them together. She put loved ones, not only her father, Miguel Castaneda, but also Mary and other loved ones that have passed away. On the altar of the Day of the Dead, you only put people that have passed away. You do not put people that are alive, because you're dealing with death and you don't want to put death close to that person. You put all the things that her dad liked: love, corn, and drink, music. You have a guitar player there. You have a guitar. You have a donkey, probably like riding his horse in Mexico. So you have the cactus probably out in the open. So you have all this, and the cross probably was a religious man. And so all this makes the person, the man. And that's the thing, as people that we are, we have many faces. Where one face is being religious, being close to God and Jesus Christ, our Lord. Another face being with a family man, being a father for your children. The other face having friends, having good relationship. Another face being the worker, the employee, or the boss, working well with your compadres, in terms of whatever work you do. And so we all have that. We all have different faces in our lives. And so when we see the altar, there's many, many different things that are involved in our life because of the faces we have, the many hats we wear. And so that makes the person. And it's never one thing. It's always many things. And that's what makes it beautiful. And I'm honored that we have Cirilo, his altar here, and I'm very happy for the family, so they can come and honor their loved ones for Day of the Dead. Okay.
Thank you, Rúben.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you so much for watching here on I'm host Jose Miguel and to Rúben. Thank you so much, Rúben.
Thank you.
for having me.
Take care.
All right.
Until next time.